Welcome, folks. Dale Jackson back with you. Thank you very much for being here. I host a radio show. You can hear it Monday through Friday, 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, Alabama, and from 10 until noon in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And you can hear me every single day, Monday through Friday. And follow me on all the social media platforms at the Dale Jackson. Like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff you're supposed to do. And I appreciate you doing just that. We got a lot to get into here. And as you saw, from the title, I think it was pretty clear. There is a lot going on in the world today that is not so great. And one of the reasons why that is, and it seems pretty clear why that is because we are dealing with a sort of plague on our culture, on our country, on our world, really, if you will. And that plague is liberal white women. It's just as simple as that. It's liberal white women, and they are clearly doing a number on the Western world. We're seeing what's happening in Minnesota, where two liberal white women decided that they would block ICE. One would get out and film it for the Instagram. The other would get into it with ICE and pretend that they were doing something. They've been convinced that they could do whatever they want, call it social justice, and nobody would ever hold them accountable for anything. Well, she was held accountable in a terrible situation that put herself, her family, that cop, and everyone else involved in a terrible situation where the end result was not less cops in Minnesota. The end result was instead more ICE agents in Minnesota. I mean, she failed in every possible way and ruined her children's lives. It's unacceptable. It's wrong. And it was completely preventable on her part. But as we're watching liberal white women do a number on America and the West, they're branching out. Yeah, they're branching out. And they have decided that they have some thoughts on Islam. And they're going to make you care about that too. Yeah, they're going to make you care about that. They're going to make that their number one concern, and they're going to change it from within. Now, I'm going to share you something here. This is all something that's happened recently this week. I got a couple of clips to share with you that are interesting. This first one is about a woman converting to Islam for the vibes, it appears. That's how it comes off to me, but you draw your own conclusions.
People make being Muslim such a viscerally unpleasant experience. I was so excited when I first found Islam, like the comfort that I found in praying, the joy that I felt when I read Quran, the experience of like wearing hijab and like getting closer to God was so beautiful for me. And then over the year that I've been a hijabi, just noticing how different people treat me, the dehumanization that Muslims experience, the microaggressions that I get on the daily. I know that I've never experienced it because before I'm just like a white woman.
But it can't be something you actually believe, because I hear every day that white women are put down and microaggressed against and every possible thing. But now she's basically become a Muslim, and now she's got a new round of oppression hitting her, and she wants to let you know about it.
This is like the first adversity that I'm like experiencing in my life. Boo freaking who, I know. I hate when people are just like, oh, you became Muslim to become oppressed. Who wants to be oppressed except for like white evangelicals? I would much prefer that people were just like kind and accepting, know that what I'm experiencing isn't even like a drop in the water of how like violent and genocidal Islamophobia is and Islamophobes are. All of Islamophobia is a direct result of the billions of dollars that has gone into spreading anti-Islam hate.
Can you tell me where exactly the violent and genocidal stuff is happening against Muslims? Can someone explain that to me? I realize they like to say it's in Palestine, which is not a real place, but they do like to say it there. But it's not even that. That was a war where the superiorly powered military took every precaution they could to try to A, get them to stop, and B, not kill civilians. But because of the situation as it was, civilians were killed. And that's an absolute shame and a terrible thing. But they could have stopped that at any time. You know, first off, by not actually trying to commit a real genocide inside Israel. Well, you know, from the river to the sea and all that stuff. That is basically saying we will commit genocide. But sure, just where is all this? And if I notice, excuse my ignorance here as a white man, If I notice anything, what I see is people going out of their way to try to be accepting of Islam. So again, you should give some examples of this anti-Islam, Islamophobic hate and genocide. But, just continue talking about how you're still a victim.
I can't practice my religion without also understanding that people are going to treat me poorly. Like, I'm going to experience discrimination. Ever so freaking slowly, it's changing. And I just have to remember that I am part of the process of changing people's minds about Islam. And that can be like a really big burden to bear sometimes.
She's doing so much. White women's tears. We've seen a lot of that lately. And I welcome it. I think it's good. A little introspection is good. But let's move to the person that brought this topic up first. Okay, we've watched as white women, liberal white women, have gone after the West and changed the West. Now they're going after Islam. First they come into Islam. Now they've decided they need to change it significantly. And wait till you see how they're going to change it.
If you are a Muslim who is transphobic and homophobic, not only are you...
Yes, by lecturing you like they do on every other part of your life. They're going to hen-peck you. They're going to Karen you. They're going to do all these things. And they're going to make you feel bad about absolutely everything. And they're going to tell you you're the worst. And they're going to tell you that the situation that we are experiencing is worse than it's ever been. And if you would just listen to the liberal white women, they'd fix you. I wonder how Islam's going to take that. But anyway, let's continue.
If you are a Muslim who is transphobic and homophobic, not only are you contributing to the mass killing of LGBTQ people, you are also contributing to...
Again, I hate to be the pause guy, but can someone tell me where that mass killing of LGBTQ citizens is taking place? Can you tell me that? Where exactly is that going down? Is there a reason why we don't all talk about like that? That seems like that'd be a pretty good news story. Where is the mass killing of LGBTQ citizens going on? Anyway, it's fine. Let's just continue.
Contributing to the mass killing of LGBTQ people, you are also contributing to the Muslim genocide by giving ammunition to Zionists and other Islamophobes, violently killing Muslims around the world, and allowing them to pinkwash our genocide by saying, hey, look, all Muslims are bad people because look what they would do to you in Gaza. Look what they would do to you in Muslim countries. And y'all could argue until your faces are blue in the comments about if it's haram or not. I literally don't care.
You can argue until you are blue in the face about whether it's actually a part of your religion. But allow me, a recent convert, a liberal white woman living in the West, to tell you that I don't care about what it actually means to your religion. I know best, and you should listen to me.
Look what they would do to you in Gaza. Look what they would do to you in Muslim countries. And y'all could argue until your faces are blue in the comments about if it's haram or not. I literally don't care. You are meant to love people, respect, and show kindness to people. If your version of religion has to do with being a bigot that gets people killed, not hurting anyone, just being who they are, I don't want any part of it. And keep in mind that in the Quran 2 times it says, to me my religion and to you yours, and there is no compulsion in Islam. It's literally haram for you to impose your religion and your beliefs on other people. No one's asking you to be trans. At the same time, you are also pushing away people who are trans, who are gay, from becoming Muslim. Whether you like it or not, there are LGBTQ Muslims who are part of our ummah. They are just as Muslim as you are. And at the end of the day, subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah. Allah is greatest, Allah knows best, and you need to humble yourself.
Yes. Again, what we need is liberal white women to get into Islam. Now, if Islam moderated itself, yeah, she's I hate to say this. If Islam moderated itself a little bit, then yes, it would be a more widely accepted faith, and people would not have as big of a problem with it. That's true. It's absolutely true. And the Muslim world is moderating itself ever so slowly, except in their tolerance, not necessarily inside the Islamic faith, but the tolerance of other cultures. Yeah, I mean, that's just how the world works. We slowly inch that way. But I think we need to speed it up by sending liberal white women. Forget about bombs and things like that. We need to send liberal white women to the Middle East to lecture these guys in their mosques. Let them come into their mosques and lecture them about how they need to let homosexuals in and trans people and how they're wrong and it's their fault the genocide is happening in Gaza, right? No, okay. That ought to go pretty well. And she says keeping people who are Muslim who are trans and gay from joining Islam. Not all of them, because here's another liberal white woman ready to tell you I'm both those things.
I got a question asking how I can possibly follow a religion that's homophobic and transphobic, and I deleted the question and blocked.
Let me restart this for you. Audio was kind of low.
I got a question asking how I can possibly follow a religion that's homophobic and transphobic, and I deleted the question and blocked the person really quickly because I was like, I'm not dealing with this. And then I decided that I actually did want to answer the question. So in simple terms, there is a saying that says Islam is perfect, people are not. And that is the answer. Anytime you're questioning something, Islam is perfect, people are not. If you talk to queer Muslims from the Middle East, if you look into Islamic history, if you look into Islamic poetry, you will find that historically, queerness has been accepted. There was a person who was born male that the Prophet knew, who was granted access to women's spaces because he did not feel any sexual desire. And
this is what we see a lot here in the West, because I love this and I love to see this. This is where they go to tell you, hey, actually everyone's gay and everyone's been trans and everyone's been all these things all this time. You just didn't know it. Let me educate you. And that's what she's doing. She's educating you. She's explaining to you what's actually going on. She's letting you know the truth. She's giving you the real information that you didn't know. And now you know it because a gay trans person is explaining it to you.
Who was granted access to women's spaces because he did not feel any sexual desire and because he did not feel like a man or a woman. So what we would probably describe now as non-binary and asexual. He was given access to women's spaces until he started describing women's bodies to other men who did have attraction to them, at which point his access was revoked because he was abusing that privilege. But he was allowed into women's spaces when no other men were because of his queer identity, and the Prophet recognized that. God himself is not a man or a woman. God is so outside of our understanding of gender, and colonialism and conquest is what created the gender roles that we have now and the strict homophobia and transphobia that you see in mainstream religions. So anytime you're questioning anything, Islam is perfect and people are not.
There you go. Islam is perfect, people are not, and you're doing religion wrong. Okay? Just keep that in mind. You are the one doing religion wrong. You are the one that has got this screwed up. Excuse me. You are the one that has this messed up. Islam is perfect. People are not. Okay. Good information. And lastly, allow me to show you what Islam, or at least some of the adherents to it, not to say all of them, think about this new modern Islam, the modern take on Islam, and the modern take on like Queers for Palestine and stuff like that. A spoiler alert, they're not big fans.
But there's going to be sins in process. You'll be sitting next to a guy who's going to go and penetrate and sodomize another guy tonight. And you're going to expect Allah to give you victory because you're standing next to a guy who's going to literally insert his genitals into another man's back passage. But there's going to be sins in process. You'll be sitting next to a...
This is why you're not getting victory. This is why. This is why that's happening. If you didn't have all this stuff happening, then you wouldn't have to worry about these things. You wouldn't have to worry about this. This wouldn't be an issue as it is right now. You're not getting victory in Palestine because the Queers for Palestine. You're not getting that because there's all these other liberal white women explaining the actual religion to Muslims, and they're not super fans, and Allah is not a super fan of that. So, again, this is an interesting take. It's interesting to see that the world is changing in a way. And it's interesting to see that the West is exporting one of its worst attributes, liberal white women. And they have decided to take to Islam and then start telling them what they should and should not do. And again, it's worth noting, none of them asked for this. They don't want this. And I don't think they're going to be too happy to see it. Now, again, I'm not sitting here telling Muslims what they should like and what they should not like. That, of course, is up to them 100%. But it is pretty funny to see a bunch of folks sitting around dressing in their clothes, claiming to switch to their religion, and then telling them that they're the ones that have gotten the religion wrong. Now, again, it's what we've been experiencing for a long time on our side of the world. it's nice to see that we're exporting that now. Good job, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Don't forget, follow me, like, subscribe, share, do all those things. We'll talk to you soon.